Kyiv at risk of falling due to Western indecision. In an interview with the Financial Times on November 29, former Ukrainian Foreign Minister Dmytro Kuleba frankly assessed the war situation and the long-term strategic implications for Ukraine and the world. War situation, risk of defeat. Kuleba admitted that Ukraine is facing great challenges in its war with Russia. We do not have the means and tools to reverse the situation. If we continue as we are now, we will lose the war, he warned. Although no longer under the enormous pressure of the first months of the war in 2022, the current situation is still very difficult. He criticized the West for delays and limitations in providing advanced weapons. Kuleba asserted that Russia's previous peace proposals, such as demanding the demilitarization of Ukraine, were just delaying tactics for Moscow to consolidate its position. The former Secretary of State stressed that the reluctance of the U.S. President Joe Biden's administration to provide offensive weapons has caused Ukraine to miss out on many important opportunities. However, he also acknowledged that without Mr. Biden at the helm in 2022, the situation could be even worse. Donald Trump's role. Kuleba said that former President Donald Trump, if re-elected, could make a big difference in this conflict. According to him, both Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and Russian President Vladimir Putin see Trump as an opportunity to promote negotiations. However, Kuleba warned that Trump could weaken NATO and reduce military aid to Ukraine, giving Russia an advantage. If Trump sends an ambiguous message about his commitment to defending NATO allies, this could undermine deterrence against Moscow. Long-term social and strategic consequences. Kuleba shared that the war has caused severe psychological trauma for the younger generation of Ukraine, including his son. While the conflict helped shape the nation's identity, the cost was enormous. He insisted that Ukraine would not cede territory or accept peace terms from Russia, as this would not only betray those who had died, but also weaken its ability to defend itself in the future. The former foreign minister warned that NATO was no longer a guarantee of absolute security. The trust of European allies in NATO is essentially dependent on the United States. If a U.S. president, like Trump, declares that he will not defend every inch of NATO territory, the shield will collapse, he said. Challenges in international relations. Beyond the West, Kuleba also worked to build support from countries in Africa and Asia. He found that leaders there sympathized with Ukraine, but were reluctant to do so publicly for fear of retaliation from Russia or its allies. While the war was a tragedy, Kuleba believes it shaped Ukraine's international standing. Without war, it could take centuries for us to be recognized as part of the West, but I would rather achieve that peacefully than go through this disaster, he concluded.